Oh, you know this is going to be good. Dragon Age the Veilguard devs are at it again, saying some absolute nonsense that when I read the headline for this article, I got to be honest with you, I laughed so damn hard. You have no idea. Dragon Age the Veilguard devs say that they'll totally make choices from the past games matter next time. Though I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah, because apparently people think that there is going to be a Dragon Age 5. People think that there is somehow going to be a sequel after Dragon Age the Veilguard, and the devs totally promised to make your choices matter at that time, even though in Veilguard, they essentially told you to go F off. Is Tosh dead? Yeah! We did it! We did it! Yeah, boys! Again, ladies and gentlemen, Dragon Age the Veilguard has gotten roasted for a lot of reasons, right? It's not just because of the wokeness that's in the game. Let's be real. There are a lot of problems within Dragon Age the Veilguard that go much deeper than the ideology being on the forefront of damn near everything that they do. And you can say that perhaps the ideology and the obsession with it is why they were giving you such terrible gameplay in the first place. But to be honest with you, it all kind of just circles around, right? I mean, Dragon Age the Veilguard is a game that has a lot of identity issues. It is a lot of problems within that game, and the gameplay overall has suffered because of it. And it very clearly is a game that was rushed because they couldn't figure out what to do with it until the very end, and they just tried desperately to put together any little thing they can while virtue signaling and using that as, to their advantage, even though it clearly didn't work out that way. So let's get into this article from PC Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says that of one of the bigger bummer moments from Dragon Age the Veilguard, especially for many longtime fans of the franchise, was the fact that key decisions from the past games, Dragon Age Origins, 2, and Inquisition, didn't really matter all that much. Now, this was the biggest red flag for me, right? When I found out ages ago, months ago, that Veilguard was not going to utilize anything from the past games except for like 2 or 3 choices, it blew my mind, right? It blew my mind because BioWare was a company that was known for that kind of continued universe where you can use your past saves from previous games and you can use it in newer games that they come out with and make it all, a consistent continuity. It was an amazing thing, and it allowed you to really have a narrative that was built by you, right? Built by you, the player, and the gamer. Now you're coming out with Dragon Age the Veilguard, 10 years after Inquisition, a decade, and people were looking to dive back into their stories that they created. And you ended up telling them, no, hold on, wait a minute, we're not doing that anymore. You're not going to get continued saved worlds. You're not going to get world saved, none of that stuff. You're just going to make 2 or 3 decisions at the beginning of the game, and the rest of it is not going to matter. That is literally it. That was the biggest red flag for me. That's when I realized, okay, we have a problem. We have a major, major problem. Then it says, as a matter of fact, you only get to make 3 real decisions when you boot up the game for the first time, which is how the Inquisition was disbanded, who your Inquisitor romance, and whether you vowed to stop Solas or save him from himself, which is sort of like stopping him with extra steps while your Inquisitor does get a cameo. It's a little surface level. And as their own Robin Valentine puts it, all those choices made across 3 games, who lived and who died, how factions were shaped and changed, who rose to rulership or fell from grace, the ultimate fate of the Warden, Hawk, and countless others are simply discarded. But they're not. There might be hope just yet, kind of, sort of. I'm going to let it be known. Let it be known. There will be no hope, okay? There is zero hope. There is no way in hell, zero way in hell that this game is going to have a part 5. There is just no way, okay? Dragon Age the Veilguard is a massive failure. As many people who want to show for this game are desperately trying to pretend like it's not, it is, okay? You can be happy with the game. Nobody's saying you can't enjoy the game. Go enjoy the game if you actually enjoy it. But ultimately, the game that you are enjoying is, in fact, a massive failure by the actual definition of failure when it comes to a product being sold in a capitalistic market. The market has decided that they don't want it for the most part. Gamers have decided they don't want it. The game hasn't even passed 1 million units sold. We know this because they haven't announced it. Every other studio in the fucking world announces when they hit 1 million units sold, but for some reason, BioWare is quiet. BioWare, the supposed BioWare that's a return to form BioWare, is completely quiet over their sales. Gee, I wonder why that is. So we have an interview from IGN with game director Corin Bush, which we went over some of that in a previous video. And creative director John Epler says they got big plans to make sure the library of choices matter in the future. As Corin Bush puts it, one thing we could have stated more clearly, or maybe alluded to, is the idea that just because these choices for the past library of games didn't necessarily impact this particular story, that doesn't mean they're gone. This is a chance for us to really key in what matters with these events and what's happening in Northern Thedas. Well, actually, if you play Dragon Age of Veilguard, you'll realize that they say that the majority of Ferelden is destroyed. Like they say that basically that like you're not going to be able to explore your previous decisions. Like the game kind of canonizes that in a way. So for these people to try to pretend as if all of a sudden the other previous decisions are going to be able to come back again, I just don't see how that's the case. If you really wanted to do that, you should have did it with this game. You released this game now. Why are you going to tell people, oh, just wait till the next one? No, that's not how this works. You screwed over people now. You sold them a game that world states weren't a thing. So why would we believe you? And when you say that world states are going to be a thing in the upcoming Dragon Age game that nobody's even going to see, because after you flop with Mass Effect, the studio is going to close down. I'm telling you, this is the most stupid thing I've ever heard in my life. And then it says, I do fully expect that these choices going clear back to Dragon Age Origins will again matter. So I just wanted to be on record with that. Of course you do, because you're trying desperately to give any modicum of hope. And look at this, PC gamers falling for it. You want to give any modicum of hope that this is going to be something that's possible in the future. But it's not, okay? Let's be real. It's not. You guys are right now working on Mass Effect 4 or 5, whatever you want to call it. And as of right now, we are going to be dealing with the situation of Veilguard and the absolute travesty that that game is for a Dragon Age game. And then you're going to try to use any little bit of, vague comments to try to garner some sort of hope from longtime Dragon Age fans. Like, oh, maybe next time we'll get it. Maybe next time we'll get the game that we're supposed to get because Dragon Age changes between every series. So maybe they'll change it back. They're not going to change it back, boys. I'm telling you right now, there is no hope. And it's pretty fucking obvious that Corin Bush, especially if Corin Bush is at the head of the next game, if there even is a next game, I'm promising you, it's not going to end up well. I mean, listen, I am skeptical of this, highly skeptical, but I at least want to be fair and measured. Dragon Age of Veilguard has had an impossibly complicated and winding development cycle, with the entire thing having to be torn away from a teetering live service multiplayer edge. The decision to severely limit the representation of past choices might just been strictly necessary to ensure the thing came out at all. Or, as ex-BioWare lead writer David Gator put it, due to a thinning of the writer's ability to shape the game. Video games are expensive to make. This one took forever, and it's entirely possible nobody had the space to make the choices they wanted. Well, that's really what it is, right? So the game was stuck in development hell. We already know this, and it's been through 3 different iterations, which is why the budget is so massive, and this is why the game is a financial failure, because it hasn't hit the amount of sales necessary to even come anywhere close to getting their budget back, let alone actually making a profit. So the game is a failure, and I highly doubt they're going to be able to follow up this game. I just don't see how they can. They've made it pretty definitive, and on top of that too, Veilguard has a pretty definitive ending, especially for somebody like me, who every single character was killed off at the end. So I'm good. I'm done. I don't understand why anybody would even think that this game is going to have a continuation. It just wouldn't make any sense to go to a Dragon Age 5 at this point. It makes literally 0 sense. And then to try to tell people, oh, your world states will matter next time, we promise. Just wait around and find out. Yeah, nobody's stupid enough to wait around anymore. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.